Hi and welcome to my show, Jackie's Kitchen. Today on the show, I've got my two lovely nieces who are twins.
Hi.
Their father comes from a Lebanese origin and their mother is actually Australian. So I've brought them in especially to talk about growing up as an Australian-Lebanese in Australia. So we've kicked off the show today with one of their favourite dishes that their grandma, Siti, makes at home. And that is, come on girls, MUjaddara. Okay, so MUjaddara has been one of these favourite dishes that these girls have enjoyed eating and have enjoyed to eat at grandma's house, correct? Mm-hmm. Yes? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. It's one of many, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so to kick off, I'm going to introduce to you the ingredients that we'll be using in our dish today. So I've got some lentils, about a cup worth of lentils that I've soaked overnight in water, and I'll explain why later on in the show. I've finely chopped 4 brown onions. Over here, I've shown you what the 1 cup of lentils looks like prior to soaking it in water. And in the MUjaddara dish, I have also soaked 2 cups of medium green white rice. Now to serve on the side of this MUjaddara dish, we're going to make a classical dish called khiyar laban, and it actually crosses over in a few other countries like Greece, known as tzatziki. It's a nice dish that accompanies the MUjaddara dish. So we've got some chopped cucumber, about 2, some fresh mint, picked from the garden this morning, and 500 grams of Greek-style yogurt. You can also make your own yogurt at home, and maybe in future episodes we'll show you how to do that. So to start off with, we're going to add some olive oil into this pot over here on high heat. So we'll just adjust that to high. Mm-hmm. Some fresh olive oil. And Georgia,
Yes.
are you ready? Let's throw in that onion.
Awesome. Tip the whole thing in?
Let's do it, yep. Go. Great. Excellent. It's important to always start cooking the onion on high heat. And you want to hear that sizzle when you place them in. Does, doesn't it? Very good. Okay, you want to allow the onion to brown at a very slow rate. You don't want them to burn. So I'm going to reduce the heat to a medium heat. I'm always stirring as I go so that the onion gets evenly cooked, okay? And we want this to taste as close to grandma's dish as possible. You can already see, just from the heat, girls, the onion has started to brown, but we want it to get that rich caramelised colour. That's right, nice and golden. Okay, so I'm going to leave that aside for now. Allow that to brown, nice and slow. While we're waiting for the onion to brown, we're going to make the cucumber yogurt salad. So using your 500 grams of laban or Greek-style yogurt, have that ready. We're going to add the cucumber. So Belle, do you want to add the cucumber in?
Want me to get a bowl?
Yep, you can use a larger bowl. Fantastic. All right, throw them all in together, girls.
Some yogurt. Whole thing?
Whole thing. This should be enough to serve about 4 people. So this yogurt salad accompanies the rice dish that we're about to make. Mm-hmm. It's also known as a peasant's rice. So in the villages many years ago, this would have been a very typical thing to cook on a Friday because it was vegetarian. And if you're a strict Catholic, you wouldn't eat meat on Fridays. So Fridays usually ended up being MUjaddara day. So your great-grandmothers would have always made this on a Friday or a fish dish.
Awesome.
Okay, while the onions are cooking slowly, I'm just going to quickly chop up some fresh mint leaves that the girls helped me pick from the garden this morning. Mint's very easy to grow in your garden, so start planting. The best thing to have is a few fresh herbs in your backyard that you can quickly use and throw into your dish. It really does make a difference. So using a few mint leaves curled together, just chop the stems off, the ends, set them aside. Okay, keeping fingers curled back, so safety at all times. Okay, then we'll quickly slice through very finely these mint leaves.
The mint gives a really nice fresh taste to it.
That's right. How fresh is that mint smell now, girls?
Beautiful. That's so good. Smells like Sithi's kitchen.
It does. Very good. And that's what we want to do. We want to keep this tradition alive. So what have you enjoyed most about being brought up as an Australian-Lebanese?
It's kind of the best of both worlds. Like, Australia's got amazing dishes, and then all those Lebanese dishes, there's just so much.
You can put a Lebanese twist on spices in like
Yeah.
Australian dishes. It's
Yep, like
it's
fusion
just-
cooking?
Yes,
Excellent.
definitely.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much potential.
Yeah.
I'd love
Excellent.
to learn all City secrets. And,
Pass them on to your children in the future?
Definitely, yeah.
Excellent. That's great to hear. What I've done is added those little bit of mint leaves into our salad, and we're going to set that aside, cover it with Glad wrap, put it in the fridge until we need it. I'm not going to mix it through just yet. We want to mix it through at the last minute. So that's ready to go. We just need to season it later as well. So I'll just grab some Glad wrap. We'll cover it up. Again, part of food hygiene. I wouldn't put anything in the fridge without covering it. We don't want the flavour of the yogurt to get tainted by other ingredients in the fridge too. And because yogurt is perishable, it's really important that we keep it at the right temperature, which is below 5 degrees Celsius, out of the danger zone. Did you know that? All right, Georgie, do you want to put that in the fridge for us?
All right.
Fantastic. I'll return this. Okay. So in this dish today, we're using white rice. Can you think of any other healthier alternatives we can use other than white rice in today's dish?
There's always brown rice.
Brown rice?
Definitely healthier.
Yes, definitely.
What about quinoa?
Quinoa, definitely.
Yes.
And the great thing about quinoa is it's actually high in protein. So you're introducing more protein along with the lentils as well. Any other alternatives?
Not any that come to mind, but there's
A wheat or something?
yeah.
Yep. So we also have another ingredient that appears in a lot of our dishes in the Lebanese culture or Egyptian, many of the Mediterranean cultures too. It's crushed wheat. So you can use crushed wheat in the same manner as using the white rice. It actually makes it a lot more healthier, and if you have diabetes, it's actually really good too because you're allowing less sugar into your bloodstream. I know Siti always puts red kidney beans, another
Yes.
great add-on into a dish, isn't it?
Yeah. Awesome.
Do you guys like your red kidney beans?
do, actually.
Yep,
I love
so do I.
red beans.
Fantastic.
Go with everything.
Okay, as you can see, the base of this pot here is starting to brown, and I'm going to keep stirring it. We really need these to go a nice golden brown colour, and that's how this dish gets its colour from the brown onion.
And the flavour too.
And the flavour, that's right. We don't want it to burn. So I'm going to ask Belle, you're going to give it regular stirs so that the base doesn't burn. That should be all right for now. You'll have a crack at it next time then. Okay, we've actually soaked the lentils in water overnight. Now, if you're a bit of an impromptu cooker at home and last minute, don't stress. If you can't soak it the night before, you can also add some bicarbonate soda in there, about a tablespoon worth, and soak it for about 15 minutes. The idea about soaking the lentils, okay, is to get the impurities out. So you can see the colour has changed. The colour of the lentils here and the water has gone from clear to like a slightly tainted red colour. And that is the actual acid coming out of the lentils. I don't think it's recommended to eat lentils without soaking them first because it can make you quite gassy. So by doing this, we're letting out those gases and, you know, avoiding any embarrassments later. Yep, give it a regular stir. So I've shown you what it looks like beforehand. The lentils will expand. while they're being soaked overnight. Excellent. We'll keep that heat evenly spreading through the onions. While we're doing that, I'm going to ask Georgia just to rinse the lentils in the sink.
No worries.
There's a strainer ready to go.
Yep.
Okay, while the girls are doing that, I'll show you what I've prepared in regard to garnishes. I've got some fresh mint on the side with a bit of cucumber. I've soaked a brown onion that I've quartered. Now I've soaked it so that this strong onion smell can come out, because traditionally my grandpa, and I still do today, they would have eaten the MUjaddara with fresh onion on the side as an accompaniment, as well as the minted yogurt with cucumber. So I've prepared them in order to present with later on.
This is looking very brown.
Excellent. So
Smells beautiful.
good. It is starting to brown very well. Well done, Belle. It's really important to keep stirring during this phase. I'm even going to increase the heat a bit. Because the onion does look for moisture, it will soak up the oil a lot. So if you find that the mix is a bit dry, we can add a little bit of extra oil. So do you want to add some more oil to that?
Tell me when.
Yep. Just give it a good drizzle. Perfect. Yep, that's it. All right, we are health conscious these days. We don't want to add extra fat if we don't need it. So I like to add the oil a bit as we go. It is a healthy dish. It's going to be cooked with water. Another way we can cook the onion, and I've seen my mum do it, is to deep fry them. Not the best thing to do, but it is a quicker way to get these onions browned.
So this way is a healthier alternative to frying.
Yeah, much healthier. I've seen many people as well, you can bake them. Again, it all depends on the time that you have available at home, the type of equipment and experience you have in the kitchen as well.
Definitely.
All right, so while we're waiting for those onions to brown, I think we can give these... Oh, perfect. Very good. Yep, what we're going to do, they're ready to add into the onion once they're cooked. I'm going to get you now to rinse out the rice. By soaking the rice, we allow the starch to be released from the rice grains. It's really important to do. It reduces the cooking time and lets out a lot of the sugars as well from the rice. So once Georgia finishes rinsing those off, I'm going to half fill a pot with some cold water. We're going to add the rice in there and get it on to boil.
Sure.
While the girls are doing that, I'll just keep my eye on these onions because we don't want them to go black. So you'll need to stir continuously. This process should last about 15 minutes. So if you're going to cook for more people, obviously double your quantities. And the great thing about this dish, girls, is it can be eaten cold or hot. So it's great for lunch, for dinner, after school.
Yeah, there's no wasting it.
No.
You can always have it the next day.
That's right. It can be eaten the next day, which is something I'm sure a lot of mums out there can relate to. The less cooking you do at home, the better. If you can eat it the next day, it's better, right? How are we going there, Georgie?
Yep, nearly done.
Excellent. So we're just waiting for that rice to brown, and we're going to turn on the heat for the rice. Perfect. So I'm just going to add them into this pot. Cold water start. So I'm not going to turn it on just yet. I want the brown onion to caramelize a lot more. The reason being, I don't want the rice to get too gluggy. And because we've soaked the lentils overnight, they've expanded. They'll be easier to cook as well. So I'm going to grab another little pot. Get Belle to half fill it with some water for me, please. Excellent. Keep an eye on the onions always, so we're stirring in from the outside, bringing it in. You can see the colour is changing as time goes by. So Georgie, Do you find that your friends at school, are they from a multicultural descent as well?
Yeah, actually at my school we do actually have a lot of Lebanese girls, and
Yep.
they're always bringing leftovers because a lot of them live close to their cities, and everyone's always jealous when they have the amazing leftovers from
lunch,
Sydney South.
From the night before?
And I'm always jealous, yeah.
You're always jealous.
Yes, if I don't have it with me.
Your mum cooks a lot of Lebanese food, even though she's
Yeah, she
does.
Australian. So
Yeah.
Picked up a lot from our sitter.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it goes to show that Lebanese cooking is not that hard, but you just
Yeah.
need the experience
Yeah.
Definitely.
and the knowledge. All right, so I'm going to add these lentils in. Now that we've rinsed them, most of the gases have released from the lentils, and you're going to notice another change in this colour of water. So I'm going to put that on high heat. Once that starts to boil, it should be enough time to when these onions are almost ready. It's a very quick dish to make, and if you're always stuck or wondering what to do next, or you get home on a Friday afternoon after work, I'm sure a lot of parents work these days, both parents.
Yes.
Your both parents work too? Yes, I come from a family and I'm a mother of two and I work full time, so I'm always looking for something quick and easy to make that's also very healthy. Okay, it's got a good balance of carbohydrates in this dish, minimal fat. You're getting your protein from your lentils, which is great to help young bodies grow and develop. And always watch out for your serving size, especially with carbs. You girls don't have to worry about it, I do though.
Let's start now.
All right, so you can see most of the onion has started to caramelise. Now, I want them all to be a similar colour. I can still see white onions, so I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit to give the white pieces of onion a little bit more time to cook and catch up.
Yeah.
So once that happens, we'll be able to add all the ingredients together with some salt, just to season it and give it a bit more flavour. All right, do you want to give it a bit more of a stir and space out those onion pieces? All right, Georgie, while Belle's doing that, we might actually toss through the yogurt and the cucumber. So if you want to get that out of the fridge, we can get that ready to go. It's really important to allow teenagers help mum and dad or aunties and uncles out in the kitchen. No good seeing them on the couch all the time playing on their iPhones or using a form of technology. It is so essential for these guys to learn the skills that we've learnt from our parents. And the only way you guys can do that is to actually be given a shot at it, right? Very good.
But it's enjoyable as well for us. We get to see how they created food as a child with their parents, and it's just a passed on thing that we can bonding as
Bonding
well
experience.
that we
It
can
is.
pass on to our children.
Very good. And you know, it's something, like you said, you can pass on, and something definitely that you'd want to pass on. So I'm going to grab some pepper and some salt. I'm going to only add a pinch of the salt into this yogurt mix. A little bit more. You can even use Himalayan salt. You know, a lot of health critics are going for the Himalayan salt instead, but whatever you have available is good. All right, we'll keep that. Excellent, very good, Georgie. We'll give that another wrap, put it in the fridge. So our minted yogurt salad is ready. We're just going to wait for our rice now. So in the fridge that goes.
This smell to me is MUjaddara. That's
Yes,
what it smells like. It's
very
from
good.
The onion.
We're on the right track.
I remember growing up, I always knew when Mum had made MUjaddara because I would come home to that caramelised onion smell. It is very, very strong. and it does permeate even through the whole street.
Yes.
All right, so we're almost ready. I am going to turn the heat off the onion there. And what I'm going to do as well, just to give it time for the residue that's at the base, time to lift up, I'm going to add some water to this as well. And I'm going to add the water from this pot over here. Okay. By doing that, we're going to lift up all that colour from that onion. And you can see how much it's boiling there, girls. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Straight away.
So all that residue that's on the edge there will have time to soak.
The water has turned brown.
And that's right, the water has turned brown. So this is Sitti's secret. Has your mum ever made albino MUjaddara? You know, the MUjaddara that looks a bit white?
Yes, she has.
So this is one of the tricks that I used to pick up from watching Sitti cook at home. And that was bringing the colour through the onion, and that's allowing it to boil into the onion while it's in the pot. So I'm going to turn that back on now, because it's not going to burn. Keeping it on medium heat, so it's a light simmer, just until those lentils are ready. So it's all right to mix them through. So a light simmer for the slurry. So I've got the rice ready to go there. And if you want to speed up the cooking process and get two things done at once, you can start the heat on this right now, or you can add them in later. So because we are always, you know, time efficient and worried about time, I am going to turn the rice on. So thank you, Bill, for reminding me.
That's okay.
Okay, so keep that on high heat. The lentils don't need that long to cook because remember we've soaked them overnight. Now, if you are going to follow the method of soaking the lentils with bicarbonate soda, it is really important that you rinse that out. You don't want that acidic taste from the bicarb soda in that. So make sure you give it a good rinse. Okay, we might need to add a little bit more water into that onion slurry there. So I'll just grab some heat-proof cloth and gently pour that in. I don't want that to dry out, and the lentils don't really need that much water anyway to cook. So, can you see how it's all coming together now?
Yes.
3 easy steps,
Yeah.
getting it all in.
Very simple. I thought it looks much more difficult, but it's not.
That's right. So do you reckon you could make this on your own?
I could.
I'd give it a shot,
Yeah.
yes.
Good. That's good, really good to hear. And we do. We want you guys to get more involved so that we can sit back and relax in the future. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the onion slurry. Okay. The lentils has just started to come to a boil and it's just almost ready. Once it does start boiling, I'm going to pour it in to the onion slurry. Then we're going to add the rice and let them all boil in one pot, sort of like a one-pot wonder. Couple of questions that you might ask: what type of onion's the best onion to use? And for this type of dish, a brown onion would be the best to use. Okay, it's got many properties that is used in a lot of cooking, and it can withhold the heat for this amount of time. So it can caramelize without going black too quick. The Spanish onion has a bit more sugar in it. It's purple in color. I've seen it being used in this dish as well, but the brown onion works best. So I wouldn't use spring onion, nothing else except for the brown onion. It's always available to buy, it's always in season, it's always at a really good price. And that's the other thing, if you're watching your budget a little in the home front, this is actually a very cheap dish to make for the family, and it's enjoyed by many. As you can see, the lentils have started to come to a boil.
They're rising.
It's very exciting. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn the heat off from under the lentils. And we're going to gently pour it in to this mix over here. We don't want to overcook the lentils either, so that's why I grabbed it just at boiling point, gently pouring it in. And you can see the colour of the lentils is also changed. It's gone from that clear water look and it's taken on the colour of the lentils, and that's what we want. Belle, do you just want to grab the spoon and scoop that in? So teamwork in the kitchen is always great. Get your teams involved. This is what you want. They want to enjoy cooking and they, you know, are comfortable in the home environment, or better way to cook than with your teenagers at home. They're really good for dishwashing too.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? No, that's what dishwashers are for, right?
Yes.
Oh, we have to pay. These days we have to pay. All right, so once that started to boil with the onion, I'm going to add the rice. Okay, you might think there's too much water in here, but as the rice cooks with the onion and the lentil, it'll soak up a lot of the juice that's in there. So again,
All the flavour.
that's right, all the flavour will remain in there too. Are you ready? Georgia, this time you can scoop in that rice.
All right, awesome.
Come this way. Don't want to burn you.
All right, so I'm going to nice and gentle. Very good. When working with heat, it's always good to be gentle when adding things into another. Always test your surface temperature. We don't want to burn or scald our fingers.
There we go.
Fantastic, very good. Okay, we'll set them aside for washing. That is a bit hot to hold, so be careful.
Heatproof.
Good girl. Excellent. Okay, this will need maybe another 15 minutes before it's ready. And you will notice a change in the liquid. It'll become a lot more thicker. So if it becomes a bit too thick, all you need to do is add some extra boiled water. So what I might do is put the kettle on, get some hot water ready, so that if we do need the extra water, we can add it in later. Once 10 to 15 minutes has passed, you'll notice a change in the liquid and your rice. So your rice is now expanded, liquid has thickened, and you can even hear the sound of the boil, much different to how it originally started. So we're going to get a little teaspoon and we're going to get the professionals over here to taste test. Did Ani, Jackie match Siti's dish? So you can just fluff out the rice a bit. You can see that it's cooked. The colour is present. I'm going to just turn the heat off. Get the girls to taste. At this stage, you should always taste to see. If it needs a little bit more salt, then add. Okay, Bella, who wants to try it first?
I will.
Okay.
Good.
Did I beat the
I have
test?
to say you've lived up to it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It tastes awesome.
I really doubted you could do it, but hey, we're here.
Well, we said that we can serve this dish cold. So if you are going to serve it later, prepare a rectangular Pyrex dish and pour the contents into this dish, set aside to cool down, and then cover and put it in the fridge. But if you're going to serve it immediately, like we are today, I'm going to get Georgia to get the cucumbered yogurt out of the fridge. This is definitely now ready to serve. Excellent. Now, why have we chosen the yogurt salad or cucumber dish to serve with this dish today?
It's a good contrast between the temperatures, hot and cold, and it's very fresh and
Refreshing
just, yeah,
as well.
refreshing to go with it. But,
That's right, good.
Yeah, it just accompanies it well. Like it
You're right.
complements the dish really.
It does,
Yeah.
and the flavours too. So you've got like really stark flavours here in the MUjaddara, the strong caramelised onion taste, okay, like what you're saying, two differences, hot and cold. Then you have a nice, bland, fresh, tasting yogurt dish over here. So they do really go together very well. I'm going to bring our serving dish over for the MUjaddara. So the pot is pretty full, it's expanded. This will definitely serve at least 8 people.
At least.
But then again, you always want leftovers.
We always want leftovers. So if you've got a family of 4, it
Just
doesn't
makes
matter.
things better.
That's right. Okay, nice 2 spoonfuls as a serving size. Just wipe the edge there. So there's your MUjaddara. I've prepared our garnish on the side. And some fresh minted cucumber yogurt salad on the side.
Yum.
If you're not a fan of yogurt, maybe a fresh cucumber salad with just a vinegar instead.
Yeah.
I know, yogurt can be an accompanied or an acquired taste. So a little bit of fresh mint leaf on there to garnish.
Yeah.
And there you have it, homemade MUjaddara with your fresh cucumber minted yogurt salad on the side. Sahtan.